3 nights in a row, live videos. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We haven't had huge turnouts, but PMac just keeps going. He just keeps going. To be embarrassed. You like embarrassing yourself, PMac. So we'll wait for some folks to arrive. I did get in what I would say is one of the best mainstream movies. Whoa. Technical difficulties. One of the best mainstream movies. Not saying the best, one of the best mainstream movies. At least one of my favorites of the last few years. Ryan Reynolds in Free Guy. We got the Target exclusive 4K edition, which I'll be talking about here. PMac Movies, brought to you by Vita Coco. Coconut water. Not really, though. So we'll wait for some folks to show up. I see there's some people joining. Let's see if they participate. Thoughts on Free Guy starring Ryan Reynolds? Look at this. This is a pretty nice edition. It would be nice to have the slipcover on it too, but Arthur's in the hizzy again. Hey, Arthur. But we have the... What would really be nice is to have this, you know, the Target exclusive, whatever you call this thing. I guess it's kind of a slipcover type thingy. I guess it is. It's a slipcover, more or less. Kind of neat. It's kind of, you know, it's thick. But it is really, it's pretty much a slipcover that opens up. So kind of interesting there. And the look of it's nice. I like the black with light blue there. But it would be nice to get like the regular slipcover too, but that's probably too much to ask. Whew, man, it's hot in this room. Holy shnikes. I didn't even look at this stuff yet. This is actually really nice. This reminds me of Topps Finest trading cards back in the day. I don't know if they still have Topps Finest, but I remember when I was in like middle school, or maybe less than middle school, you would get the like football. Did they have? Yeah, they had basketball too, and they would have like this nice coating, and it would actually have like a plastic over it too. That if you took off, it like hurt its value. But this reminds me of that. It's actually pretty nice looking there. Pretty nice little card there. And I think there's another card. Yeah, these are actually really nice. You know, they're glossy. So those are actually add some value to the Target exclusive. So that's pretty neat. And I was glad to be able to get this one because I do like the movie a lot. And then this is a little stand you can display them on, but we're just going to keep them. I don't really display anything here in the room, so we're just going to pop that back in if I can. Don't know if it wants to go back in. Interestingly shaped little thing there. Alright. Free Guy. Really, really fun movie. I'll talk more about that. I got this in a trade with Albert. I believe he watches my videos and is on Facebook. I talked to him through Facebook. But I got that Moonfall movie. I got 2 copies of it. And I saw that he got this. So I offered him the trade, and he wanted Moonfall, so he did the trade. So I already had Free Guy on Blu-ray, but it's definitely one that I was going to get on 4K eventually. So to be able to get this Target exclusive edition is nice. I'll probably not be able to get the slipcover edition, I suspect. But if I can get the slipcover too, I would get that, because I like this movie that much that I would want multiple copies. But probably not going to happen. We'll see. So, what I wanted to talk about with this movie, I feel like this was kind of like, to me, it's a throwback to some of those late 90s kind of gnostic type mythology movies. A lot of Gnosticism aspects to them. So we had things, it would be really good if I had my collection sorted out so I could just go through and pull the movies I wanted to talk about out. But you had things like, of course, Matrix would be the biggest one. Dark City has become something of a cult classic, I would say. Great movie. I actually, I would take, to me, I prefer Dark City over the Matrix. But I like them both a lot. And then you have things like The 13th Floor, which is another one that's not as well known, but that's very much up there too. You have something like The Truman Show with Jim Carrey, kind less sci-fi-ish than the other three, but Gnostic elements to that as well. So I'm probably forgetting some of them. Those are the main ones that stick out to me off the top of my head. And I'm sure there's a lot more. And there's probably, you're seeing, especially these Dollar Tree sales, you see all this low budget sci-fi that they're not like as well done, but they might have like similar themes to that sort of stuff. You see them and you like kind of read the back of the case and things like that. So there's a lot of other stuff out there, I'm sure, that has some of those elements to it. But as far as mainstreamy stuff is concerned, there hasn't really been, those late 90s ones were great. I'm sure there's been some others. But this one is just, I think it kind of continues along that path. And I feel like since, probably 2000 or so, just the amount of good movies, especially mainstream movies, has been not as good. That's why a lot of movie collectors and stuff tend to focus on movies from the 80s and 90s. I really like movies from the 70s. But a lot of that classic stuff that people go back to is that 80s and 90s. Because movies, there's just something about them is better. First of all, movies now rely so much on special effects, and I feel like the building of the characters, the feel of the movie, the music, all those things, it was just, it's gone downhill. Who's out there besides Arthur? So we have this nice Free Guy set that I showed off earlier. We're talking a little Gnostic movies. A lot to this one. And I've seen people review this or talk about this, and they talk about it being like a video game movie, or just thinking that it's terrible. You're totally missing all of the metaphorical aspects to this, all the symbolism in this. Think of it this way. The characters, the video game characters, are basically us. And then the video game developers represent the gods of our world, which harkens back to mythology, where there's the god, there's the regular people, there's the gods. It's representing those things in different ways. It's not a movie about video games or making video games. That's the popcorn cruncher aspect to it. That's the aspect of entertain people in this way, but that's not really what the deeper theme of the movie is for those that are kind of looking for that aspect of it. So a kid, 10-year-old kid goes and sees the movie, they're going to see the what's obvious aspect to it with the video game and the mindless entertainment aspect of it. Whereas somebody who's done more research on mythology, Gnosticism, and looked into things, you're going to see the points that it's making, harkening back to the mythology and all those things, like those other movies I mentioned. 7 people in the hizzy. Nobody wants to talk but PMac movies. I'm making these live videos too late, but I really couldn't make it any earlier because I went to a party and then had to shower and things, so it just became too late. But if nobody out there is going to say anything, I will be finishing this up soon and I'll go watch something. Been rewatching The Office. Like some of the kind of, I guess, middle. How many seasons of The Office were there? 9? Was there? No, maybe not 9. 8? Maybe it is 9. 9, yeah. Mike D says, have you seen, do you mean? Have you seen Class of the Forbidden Project? I have that. I believe it is a Shout Factory release. I didn't get into that one. But let me know your thoughts on it. Obviously, you have some thoughts on it. What's interesting is the main character of that, and I forget his name, but he went on to be on The Young and the Restless. I think The Young and the is it The Young? Yeah, Victor on The Young and the Restless. He's still playing that role. I remember being a baby before I was even in preschool, probably. My mom watching that show, and Victor was played by that guy. Why would this guy want to be on? And I don't care. Like, doesn't matter how much money he makes. He's probably already pretty well off. He's played the same character for how many years? Let's look that up. $42 Eric Braeden has been on The Young and the Restless. Why? I mean, why? It's not reasonable. It's not reasonable for somebody to do that for 42 years. Like, he had to have made some sort of agreement to be doing this. And if you look into him a little bit too, I remember reading about him. He's from Germany and he changed his name. His name was not Eric Braeden. And I think there's just some interesting stuff with his history and stuff. But why would you want to spend your life? I mean, that show's on every day. So how much time does he have to put into still, acting for this show? Why wouldn't he retire? Oh, I really like doing this, being on this show. Like 42 years? Really? I don't know how they get some of these celebrities to do the stuff that they do, but like, it doesn't make any sense. No regular person would want to be on a soap opera for 42 years. I don't care if they offered him $100 million an episode. He's got enough money. At some point, you don't give a shit about money anymore and you just want your time. You want to live, baby. 42 years. Something's up. Mike D says, I think the 1970s gave us some of the most thought-provoking sci-fi films. I like a lot of 70s movies. Let me know some of the ones you're referring to. So things like Soylent Green, I think, was from the 70s. That's a really good one. And one that I got to rewatch, actually. Thought-provoking 70s movies. Oh, excuse me. Is that time? I hope you brought your popcorn to PMac Movies, because this is some exciting shit. Alright, looks like we're not really getting... Mike, if you're going to get back to me, you got to send that message, because I'm pretty much just waiting on the movies you're talking about. You can certainly email me a list also, pmacmovies@yahoo.com. It looks like I have to put Layla to bed. Charmy was just trying to call. So, yeah, we're not getting a whole lot of responses here. So, we're going to finish it up. PMacMovies@yahoo.com, Mike, if you have like a list of some of your favorites. But we'll see you guys next time on PMac Movies.